Alrighty, guys, we are back this time with the M41 90mm, the German Bulldog with the 90mm, the leKpz M41 90mm. Really exciting. I love this tank. This tank is awesome. Long story short, it's awesome. It's almost freaking OP. We'll do some stats, but for now, I just want to show you guys what the prices are in US dollars. $44.99 for 4,000 gold, and the camouflage, which this is the camouflage. I like it. Um, there's also a $35 bundle that is without the camouflage and with 3,000 less gold, but it comes with 6 slots unlocked. I am unlocking vertical stabilizer because I am a fan of vertical stabilizers. 3 bits of gameplay, 2 of them for me, 1 of them with a good friend of mine. Shake my head. He carries the fuck out of me, and in honor of his amazing skills, I'm going to be putting that one in at the end. So, hope you guys enjoy. We'll get into the stats. Alrighty, we are now in here with the stats. The second time I'm going to be recording this because I forgot to unmute my microphone. So, we are going to get into first my provisions that I run on this. I do run double chocolate and the biggest improved fuel. Equipment, I'm going to have mine set up with gun rammer, improved modules, optics, gun laying drive, the improved assembly, engine accelerator for that little bit of oomph, and vertical stabilizer when that unlocks. Not going to waste gold on that. This tank does come with the first 6 bits of equipment unlocked, which is extremely nice. Gonna get into the 8 hit points with the improved assembly. You're talking about 1325. View range is 290, which isn't the best, but isn't the worst as well. It's fairly adequate for tier 8. DPM out of the box is 2553, which is the second top, just behind the RU251. It does have the best penetration by 2 millimeters, just edging out the RU251, which has 180, I believe. The damage is in the middle of the pack, but even though this thing has a 90 millimeter, it does not get the Blitz 90 millimeter alpha. Instead, it gets the PC 90 millimeter alpha, which is 240 over instead of 225, which is it's an appreciable difference, especially when you're dueling with other medium tanks, most of which at tier 8 have 225 alpha. It means that you can get some pretty high rolls with this tank's gun, and in my opinion at least, it makes it borderline overpowered, because if you switch to a HEP, which this tank does have in conjunction with the RU251 with 102 millimeters of penetration on an HE round. You talk about 3400 DPM with 320 alpha, whereas the RU251 has 270 alpha on its high HEP. So that means that I've rolled upwards of 400 with this HE. It's incredibly good. Heat rounds have 250 millimeters of penetration, top of the class, still over 2k DPM. So that's pretty good. Shell velocity is 830. Penetration loss over distance is the best, which means that you will pen a surprisingly high amount of shots at fairly long range. Rate of fire is 10.64. Reload time is 5.64. Aim time is 1.47, which is excellent aim time. Dispersion is not great at 0.344, but it's not terrible either. Dispersion, again, is not terrible, not amazing. When rotating the turret, you're excellent. It's excellent gun handling when you're rotating the turret. That's it. And after shooting, again, it's also excellent gun handling. Gun depression has a healthy 8 degrees, but not the best gun depression. Sometimes I have struggled to get my gun down when peeking over ridge lines, especially considering this tank has pretty good alpha. So it's pretty good at peek boom, as we will see later. Weight, 23.5 tons, so not the best, not the worst. Speed limit is the second best at 72 kilometers per hour forward, 24 backwards, which is huge, especially when working ridge lines with your 8 degrees of gun depression. Effective power to weight ratio, you talk about 40 plus on hard terrain, 35-ish on medium terrain, only 20 on soft terrain, which is not great, but you do have really good power to weight ratios on hard and medium terrains. Your traverse speed is not the best at all. You're talking about 66 on hard, 57 on medium, and 33 on soft. Your size, you're a pretty small tank. Pretty small, pretty pretty nimble, actually. Your armor, you don't have any. You might get the odd bounce with your gun mantlet, just some bits of 31 millimeters overlapping with 19 millimeters, but I wouldn't count on it. All in all, just try not to get shot with this tank. Yeah, I hope you guys are enjoying this gameplay. Like I said earlier, 3 bits of gameplay, 2 from me, 1 from Shake My Head. Totally and epically carried me, so hope you guys enjoy. Alrighty, we're gonna get into the first bit of gameplay here. This will be this was one of my first matches actually in the M41 90mm, which is called the Black Bulldog on PC. So I might refer to it as that a couple times, because leKpz M41 90mm is a little bit weird. Anyways, we're here on Falls Creek, and I have spawned on the north side on the minimap. Our eye has 3 calls left. I'm in a light tank. I do not go left. I'm going to go right. At this point, I was still using the armor buff because reasons I hadn't thought to change it over. I really like the camo, how it looks on this tank. You're going to be getting a lot of gameplay here tonight, guys, or today, whatever time you were watching this. Welcome. Thank you for watching, by the way. Get to this bush. Enemy team does have a light tank and a medium tank. Seeing if they were going to be in the bush. Spot up the light tank in the town, so I decided to go for it. Load up the HEP because 102 millimeters of penetration with 320 alpha is just awesome. Pop out. Put one in the back of his tank. Smashed him. Team's just gonna push forward. He's running. I am going to eat one here. I'm going to put another one in the back of his tank, but track him, don't panic, but at the same time, pretty fast reload. Put one in the side of his tank, eat one with my tracks. Load up the HEP again, and put one through the back of his tank for the kill. Backing off, just going to reset camo here. Again, this tank does have a pretty fast reload, and it's fairly mobile, so you can COD enemy tanks fairly effectively, but for now, I'm just going to try to sit at long range and put shots out. Trying to see if I have any shots on anybody. I'm going to tell our T-44 to chill out here. It's... I don't know. This tank, I really like this tank. This tank is fast becoming my favorite tier 8 tank to grind credits with. It's fun. It's a light tank. It's make me want to play Blitz more and more now again. So it's a fun tank. Yeah, anyways, we're going to be chilling here in the middle of the town. Just going to see if I get any shots on this IS-6. Spot up the enemy T-34. Accidentally fire a HEP round at him. Only do 14 damage. That was unfortunate. IS-6 is now being... Enemy IS-6 is now being ganged up on by most of my team. Unfortunately, he does take out one of our teammates before dying. I bounced off of him, which is unfortunate. Our T-44 goes down to the enemy Borsig. I don't quite get a HEP round into him. I'm in the cap zone, so they kind of know roughly where I am. But again, this tank does have pretty good camo, so I'm going to run around. I want to isolate and kill that Borsig with my HEP. I only have a couple of rounds left. In fact, I only have 1 round left. Trying to spot up that Borsig as he crosses in front of that opening. I do end up spotting a 5100. I have a AP round loaded, roll 238. Again, I can't underestimate just how impactful the 240 alpha is. Load up my last HEP round. Put one into the M41, or not M41. Put one into the Borsig. Get the kill on him. I was willing to take a shot from the 5100 to get that kill. I don't have any HEP loaded up, otherwise I would have fired it at the Spear Panzer 1C. He's just sitting up there, so I'm going to get the opportunity to put 2 into his side. Gonna reset camo. It is now 3 versus 2, but we have 2 pretty low health tanks, and they have a 5100, and autoloaders are much more dangerous in the late game than they are in the early game. It's now 2 versus 2. Gonna pop up behind him, put 1 into the back of his tank, trying to get him to turn around. See they're starting to turn, and as is the T-34, so I'm going to try to go up and over this hill to get the T-34. I can take a shot from one or the other. Luckily, the 5100 misses me, is continuing to follow me. Enemy T-34 does put 1 into me. I put 1 into him. I see that the 5100 is pushing up on me, so I have to go in. I'm going to try to auto-aim at the T-34, get around to his side, put one into him. Get up here. I still have auto-aim. I should have taken auto-aim off here, so I end up missing the kill shot on the T-34, but luckily my Tiger II gets the kill. 5100 bounces off of him. I get out, put one into his side, and then chill. He fires 2. I thought he had fired 3, so I go in. Unfortunately, he had fired 3, so he kills me, but luckily my Tiger II is able to come around the corner while this guy's on a reload and finish him off through the front drive wheel. So I had a pretty decent impact there on that match. A lot of fun. Get to the end results here. 2.8 thousand is only a second class. I do make 76,000 credits. This tank can earn fairly well. That was a pretty decent game. Going to get into the second match here. This will be on Winter Malinovka. I am, like I said, platooned with Shake My Head. We're both running M41s. He really likes this tank. It's incredibly fun. Make a lot of credits. Unfortunately, since we were in Discord, I do have his side of the conversation recorded and not my side. This is a fairly tense game. I had to play fairly well. He was coaching me through it and yelling at me because I wasn't doing the things that he and his wise Unicum mind says I should be doing, which should have done. So you guys will see that later on. But for now, we're going to go down here into the Flatlands here, the lower part of Winter Mal. RU-251 is spotted and smashes Shake My Head here. He loses almost 400 hit points from an RU-251, and we think there's another tank out there. We're not quite sure what it is. Don't get a shot on that RU yet. Our heavy tanks are pushing up into the top zone near the cap-ish and the windmill. They're all spotted up there. I think about going through the enemy spawn, but decide to instead rotate up here, try to get to a place where I can have shots up onto enemy tanks that are up near the windmill. Don't quite get the angles that I want to here, so I'm going to go to this little hill. Shake is using the other hill to get shots. Spot up the RU-251. I hit him for 245, which is nice. The dispersion is not great here, so I hit the turret on the IS-3 Defender. Luckily, he turns around backwards, so we're able to start putting in some effective shots. I see the AC-46 is now a one-shot, so I want to get the kill on him. Barely just hit the engine deck on him. Have the side of the Defender. Miss him. Luckily, my platoon mate puts another one into him, so he is a definite one-shot. We spot up the T-23E3, which we think is the tank that also hit my platoon mate early on. Get the kill on him. I put one more into him. I'm going to go take the position that Shaky was just in to see if I get some shots. Don't quite have it angled because our heavies are now being pressed on almost all accounts, so I decided to go in. Want to assassinate the IS-3 Defender. He's on the lowest amount of hit points. He spots up a KV-4 here, and I decide to go in to help him because two tanks are better than none. I decide to say screw it, risk getting hit by a couple of enemy tanks. I go in front of him after bouncing the shot just to try to confuse him. Go for the track, decided not to. Just going to put one into him instead. I'm confident that between the two of us, we have enough DPM to eat him alive. Put one into him. I spot the CDC. CDC did a pretty good job of maximizing his damage output here. Putting one, I miss. I do have HEP loaded. I know I can roll for 300 plus with it easily. But one in the front of his vehicle for 352. Unfortunately, I take a little bit too much damage here, and I do have to end up picking the kill. But platoon mate goes down. RU-251 on the enemy team takes him out. Our Chai-Ri is going to go after the RU-251. Puts one into the RU-251, but eventually dies. I decide to cut in front of the IS-3, who is doing some weird things, to go after the RU-251. Have to get the kill on him. Do too much of a drift here, which causes me to lose a lot of speed. We need to push forward. At this point, I wasn't aware of it, but our IS-3 is AFK. So they have a mostly full health. T-34 who low rolls. I go for the HEP round, miss. I miss, and you can see the sharp jerk, and this is where things start getting tense between me and my platoon mate. Put a HEP round into the side of his tank. I eat one from him, but I'm running. He's telling me to run, so I do get around the corner here. He decides, enemy T-34 decides to kill our IS-3, so I'm going to get in on him. Bounce his upper plate because overpowered American armor. Going to go this way to just, I lagged out, bump into a wall. Luckily, T-34 doesn't capitalize and tries to come around, but I have a lot of mobility. Going to use it just to put some distance between myself and the T-34, reset camo. Shaky's desperately trying to tell me what to do. RU-251's telling enemy T-34 to cap. Resetting camo. Last he saw me going was towards our spawn, so I'm going to go back up into the windmill area. I'm extremely confident that I can outspot the T-34 and just outplay him, so I will do that. I'm going to see if I spot him up here. I don't spot him, so I'm going to go wait for him to get into the cap zone. Is he going to get the cap zone? Is he not? Is he not? There's the cap pops off, so I'm going to go here. I'm going to use the windmill as cover in case. See if he's on this side of the cap. He isn't. I'm going to go onto this side of the windmill to spot him up. Do spot him. I am at long enough range that I can put shots into him. I scoot forward too much here, which means that when I fire another time, I do get spotted, but no, I don't actually. Oh, yep, there. I get spotted. But I am behind a rock. So at this point, Shake My Head was telling me to reset camo, wait. Telling me to back up further. I'm going to go to the red line. I'm going to try to use my view range to outspot him. Don't quite able to spot him. My teammates are telling me the T-34 is still there, but I would have spotted him if he was still there, but I know he's on the other side of the cap zone. So Shake was telling me to turn around, go into a much better place to get the shot. I've missed the shot here, which ends up costing me a lot because now I'm spotted. He's berating me for going the other way. I'd get spotted here, and things are now extremely tense. So I'm just gonna relax and chill, and just try to reset camo. He knows where I am, but I'm gonna make him think that I'm gonna pop out somewhere else where I'm not going to. Gonna go around, just trying to see where he is. Pops up, and I get the kill. That was fairly lucky win. Shaky was berating me for not going to the other side, but for what it's worth, I did get the first class in this tank, 5 kills, so pretty decent. So now we are going to be on False Creek again, and this time it's not so much about what I do as what my platoon mate does. Fairly tense ending, actually, to this. Go up onto the hill. We're just having fun at this point and grinding credits and trying to get decent matches. I recorded off and on tonight. Have some pretty decent footage. Good use of HEP, good use of Unicum tactics from Shaky later on. We've been waiting for that. Yeah, he's telling me about how he's been waiting for this tank for a while, but we actually noticed that we only have 2 heavy tanks, so we actually have a lot of shots on these guys as they push up on our heavies. He hepped the back of the IS-3 for 323. We're just blind shotting. I'd see if I can hep him. I can't. Put 1 into his turret. Put 2 into him for 500. We're really putting a lot of damage out on these guys. I put 1 into the T-25 2, so we took off about half the hit points of most of the tier 7 tanks that pushed on our heavy tanks. Shaky calls for the ISU to be taken out. There is an AMX M445, unfortunately, there. I'm just going to try to keep on this hill and make them come over. I should have stayed up on the hill, but I don't, so I'm going to push forward. I try to put Put one into him for 247. Again, the 240 Alpha is awesome. Don't quite get a HEP round into him. Don't quite have the reload. AMX M445 is going after Shake My Head on my... who's my platoon mates. So I'm going to decide to go after him. Load AP. I run into rocks here because epic overpowered driving. I get smashed by the T25 AT. I put one into the SU. It's really lucky he didn't kill me. I took two now from that AMX M445. So he calls for us to go after him and then doesn't realize that there are a ton of enemy tanks over there. I'm thinking about trying to get some extra shots on him. He decides to bug out. I spot up a tank. So he's telling me to get the fuck out of here. So it's 3 versus 4. They have a lot of heavy tanks with big derp guns, so I am just going to vomit out of here. Luckily, the AMX M445, which probably has the most dangerous gun at this point, is coming. I get behind the rock to try using some cover, trying to wiggle and jiggle. My platoon mate is putting out some effective fire. I do eat one from the IS-2. The enemy platoon is the AMX M445 and the IS-2, who is full health. We have a SU-12244 in the middle. Fairly certain he's just going to get destroyed. I'm just chilling because I am a one-shot for a lot of those tanks. I'm going to put one into the IS-2 as he goes through here. Back down because I was fairly certain I was spotted there. AMX M4 is now a one-shot. So they're all focused on our tank destroyer. He tells me to circle around here. He has some hit points. So I'm going to try to assassinate if and what I can. Our SU goes down. I aim. Luckily, the KV-3 comes out. I kill him. I get spotted, so I'm going to go down behind the rock. Shaky's just using buildings. Takes out the enemy M41 Bulldog, so it's 2 versus 2. Fairly certain that I could... Looking for the AMX. Unfortunately, the IS-2 was staring right at me and does get the kill on me, but it allows my platoon mate to put one into him. Doesn't quite get a second, so this is where experience and skill comes into play. He's just going to say, fuck it, I'm out of here. Reset camo, come from a direction where they don't anticipate him to be. He had a really good match this game. He really likes his tank. Shout out to him. Excellent player. Really helped Heater out when he was in here in our tournaments and stuff. This wasn't a bad enemy platoon, so Shaky is going to spot up the AMX M445, who is a one-shot, do a graceful leap, get the kill. Does end up getting spotted. Light bulb's going to go off in a second. So he's going to make the enemy IS-2 think he's going a certain way. Actually, no, he wasn't spotted there. Actually, he might have been spotted. I don't know. So he's going to see which way the IS-2 is going. He spots up the IS-2. He sees the IS-2 is going back towards their spawn. So obviously the IS-2 wants him to go that way. So once IS-2 is committed, Shake is just going to go. IS-2 doesn't expect him to come from this way. This tank as an extremely mobile, pretty good alpha, honestly. Pretty good DPM, especially against a tier 7. He stops, dodges the shot. I ask him about HEP. He says he's not going to bother with it. But again, you guys won't hear that because of audio. He's able to take a shot now, so he's just kind of moving back and forth to throw off the guy's aim, make him wait a little bit. Gets the kill. Picks up the top gun. And just... I only do 1590, but 4.2k, but he doesn't get an ace mastery out of that game. Sniper tanker, high caliber, top gun. That's all the reasons why he's overpowered. I'm not overpowered. He's a Unicum. That's what Unicums do. That is why this tank is extremely worth getting. Buy this tank. It's borderline overpowered. It's excellent. It's beautiful, it's fast, it's mobile, it's very hard-hitting gun. I'm going to thumbs up some players here, by the way. I really like the new military honor system. I think that's pretty good. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys later.